Hey everybody, it's Alika Lifty, and today let's brew our Colombia Alirio Penna as a filter offering. This is a really nice, really traditional Colombian offering. Now, when we make recipes for these coffees, sometimes I like to accentuate different aspects of that. Maybe bring out some more acidity, more clarity, more floral flavors. But today we're just gonna lean into that and give ourselves a really nice, drinkable coffee out of the French press. So we're gonna be using our 1, 2, 3 French press. I'm gonna do a big heckin' recipe. We're doing 35 grams of our Colombia Alirio Penna, ground medium fine, about what I would grind for a Kalita wave. So all those Kalita wave recipes, you can reference that. 13, 14 on your Baratza Encore, 22, 23 on your Comandante C40. We're gonna be all right, which is much finer than traditional French press recipes. But I've been seeing people doing these French press recipes recently as people are starting to travel again, have people over, and so kind of wanted a French press here. We're gonna lean into it. All right, we don't need to preheat our French press. We don't need to do anything like that. All we need is our 35 grams of coffee and at least 560 grams of water here for this recipe here. So let's just go ahead and get started. I've got my coffee now tossed into my brewer. Give it a little shake flat. I've got a stir stick so that I can agitate this coffee as I brew it and tare my scale. Everything's 0. My timer's ready to go. I've got a decanter as well. One of the ways that we keep our French press from getting really bitter as we keep going along and as we just drink it, even if we're sharing it, is by pouring it out into a decanter as soon as we're done, so it's not just sitting there in grounds, soaking everything up, extracting more as we go about our morning. So everything's tared, zeroed, ready to go. I'm gonna dump in here 560 grams of water. Start our timer, boom. And I'm trying to pour as heavy as this sucker is gonna go. This is gonna take a while. Now, because I'm doing a larger recipe and I'm still using a gooseneck kettle, I may miss this 30-second first stir, but we'll survive. I'm almost there, I'm gonna be pretty close. So 560, I'm sitting here at a 1:16 ratio. Yeah, I'll be a little late on it, but we'll be all right. There we go. So, with all of these recipes, I'm gonna agitate here at 30 seconds. Make sure there's no dry clumps. Everything is good to go. Now, just add the top, lock in some heat. I don't even need my kettle anymore. And we're gonna relax until 1.5 minutes when I stir it again. So that was our first, and then now coming up at 1:30 will be stir number 2. Yeah, here we go. So as you can see, I've got a crust built on the top here. It's gonna happen with every French press. All I wanna do now is push it back underneath. Now I don't need to do a ton of agitation. Instead, I'm trying to make sure that all of these grounds are just underneath the water. So just give it a few little folds, push all that coffee back underneath, add your lid again, and let it rest for another minute. And guess what? We're gonna get another crust form as this coffee starts to degas and float to the top. And I want all that sweetness, all that flavor out of those beans. And so we're gonna stir it again here at 2.5 minutes. The only real problem with this recipe, or the real issue, is if you grind too coarse, you're still gonna get pretty good flavor, but it's gonna be more watery and you're gonna lose texture there. Grinding fine lets us brew this French press more quickly while getting a ton of sweetness and body. So here at 2.5 minutes now, my third and final stir for this recipe. I've got much less coffee grounds here at the top. Give it a poke, push everything back down, break that foam up. Now I'm done stirring. At 3.5 minutes, I'm gonna plunge and pour into my decanter. Yeah, this coffee is really nice, traditional, sweet, not super bright. We're gonna get fresh fig, we're gonna get maple, and we're going to get milk chocolate. And I find in the French press that we get a little floral honey in there as well. So expect a lot of sweetness, mild fruity flavor, nice traditional flavors. I would also grind absolutely the same for any of your traditional pour over methods. So our Kalita recipe, our V60 recipe, our AeroPress recipe, any of those that you want to toss this coffee into, expect your average drain time and grind size. All right, plunged, and now I'm pouring all of it out so that I don't have any more steeping. There we go. Don't spend too long when you're tipped over so we don't like get a ton of grounds out of there. But you're gonna have a nice head right there of foam. We've got a lot of body in here. Good sweetness on that aroma. Serve, and you've got plenty to share, and enjoy.